Let's get started. Happy Mother's Day to everyone, whether you are a mother or not. We all have a mother of some kind or had at some point. And sending love and care for all the carers and caregivers all over the world. This is a day, as I see it, to honor love and connection and relationships, knowing that we all do the best we can in the moment with the skills and personality and human traits that we all have. And so this class is going to be a little bit different than my usual class, more of a yin evening restorative class. And I know that some of you have props and some of you don't, so I'll invite you to use them if you have them and make it lovely and cushy. And if you don't, you'll be able to adapt and just you'll sink in a little bit less. So with that, I see some new faces. I am Jessie Mahoney. I am a pediatrician and I do mindful coaching. I teach mindful yoga and I lead a lot of in-person retreats where I combine yoga and coaching and culinary medicine. And in those in-person retreats, I teach quite a lot of yin and restorative. Most of my yoga classes online are mindful yoga with more movement, but occasionally I will teach an evening class that brings in more stillness and more rest. And this class is that. The invitation of yin yoga is as a, I like to think of it as creating parasympathetic paradise. And so activating our parasympathetic nervous system, slowing down and savoring all that delicious slowness and breath and softening. And so this class, the invitation today is going to be to slow down and savor and celebrate and enjoy. So with that, if you have a block or a bolster, sit up atop, having your hips above your knees to open up the hip flexors and invite some relaxation. Tilt your pelvic bowl forward and gently align your spine all the way up through the crown of your head with ease. Rest your hands on your thighs and take in a long, delicious inhale through your nose and an exhale through your mouth. And another big, delicious inhale in through your nose, nourishing every nook and cranny with the breath, oxygen, calm. And exhale, let it out. Breathing in kindness. And on the out breath, letting go of whatever from the day needs to go. Frustrations, things that didn't go the way you thought. Breathing in softness and ease. And lengthening that exhale, just releasing whatever would like to float away. And pause for a moment here. Flip your palms open to the sky, gently on your thighs. And notice how you feel, checking in with that heart space, checking in with your chest, your belly, your head. If they're still spinning, coming back to the breath, breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth, softening. We're going to breathe together, doing a few 4, 7, 8 breaths at the outset to activate that parasympathetic nervous system with intention. So we'll breathe in for 4, hold for 7, and out for 8. We'll first take a clearing breath, breathing in, and a long, smooth exhale, breathing out. And we'll breathe in for 4, hold for 7, and out for 8. In for 4, hold for 7, out for 8. Do 2 more on your own count. And pause and notice how you feel. Perhaps a little more calm, a little more easeful. And we'll bring a hand to heart and another hand to top, coming into hand to heart. A practice of growing self-compassion, a practice of releasing oxytocin, noticing that bottom hand, pressing into that heart space, connecting with your heart underneath. You may or may not be able to feel it yet. And bringing the top hand atop, the dorsum of one hand to the palm of the other, connecting the skin to skin, having a little rub, and enjoying that release of oxytocin and dopamine. Sending kindness and compassion throughout your chest, letting it pour in. Breathing into that heart space, into the pocket behind the heart as you hold your hand to heart, sending yourself some compassion and kindness for this journey of mothering, journey of perhaps daughtering, the journey of life, all the ups and downs. Inhale and exhale, letting it all be, allowing it, and breathing in some of the beautiful moments, perhaps memories of holding baby heads or grandbaby heads. And long, smooth exhales, allowing yourself to savor. Breathing in moments of joy and pride in this mothering journey. And enjoying the exhale. If it would feel good, close your eyes. Sometimes those memories and connections come more easily with eyes closed. Breathing in the beauty, the joy, the surprise, the delight. And an easeful exhale. And with hand to heart, other hand to top, eyes closed, connecting for a few moments with these parts of the mothering journey that feel amazing. Parts where you felt like you had done a beautiful job. The parts that surprised you, that touched your heart, that inspired you. Remembering a few of those, turning your attention with intention to the beauty and joy, and allowing yourself to savor them for a moment here. Letting them seep into the nooks and crannies and cells. And noticing as you do so how good it feels. And we'll bring our hands to heart center, rubbing our hands together. Bring your thumbs right into your sternum, finger pads face the ceiling. And take a moment here to set your intention for this hour in this Mother's Day evening in 2023. What would you like to do for yourself here? What might you like to honor, celebrate, and savor about this journey of mothering, whatever it has looked like for you? Maybe it's compassion, maybe it's forgiveness, maybe it's delight or appreciation, maybe it's accomplishment, whatever it might be for you. Allow yourself to savor it. And perhaps it's multiple of those all at the same time. Mothering is a very full spectrum journey, letting in all those emotions in a loving, tender way. When you're ready, lower your hands and we'll open our eyes. And I want to start by bringing our hands out towards the side and wrapping them around us into a huge hug. You'll wrap one arm under the other, wiggle your fingers to the scapula, the medial edge of the scapula, squeezing yourself tight, gifting yourself human touch and the squeeze of a hug. Squeezing tight, drop your chin into your chest and relax and release. Round your back and roll forward. And we'll be here for 5 breaths, squeezing tight, breathing easefully. Savoring the skin to skin, the hug. For those of you who've worked with me, the mole says at one point that there's something better than cake, and it's a hug. Enjoying this hug in the way that it is even more delicious than cake. It lasts longer. Letting your nerves and muscles enjoy it. Squeezing tight, having a little rock. We'll slowly bring our chin up to our chest, untangle your arms, stretch them wide, and we'll wrap our arms in the opposite direction, giving yourself another hug. No scarcity of hugs. Wiggling your fingers to the medial edge of your scapula once again. And with kindness and non-judgment, lift your elbows up over your chest and gently fold them down comfortably. Drop your chin into your chest and enjoy the hug on this side. Letting the effects of that hug seep into every cell and nook and cranny. Squeezing tight, perhaps even wiggling your fingers, giving yourself a little massage on the back. A few more breaths here. Moving slowly. In yin, we hold the positions longer. And for those of us that are busy, our minds tend to wander. As your mind begins to wander, bring it back to the sensations, to the skin to skin, back to the heart space, back to the breath, something that grounds you. Last breath. Bringing your chin back up to neutral, untangling your arms, bringing them down by your sides. Shrug your shoulders up to your ears, press your occiput into the shoulders, and release and enjoy for a moment. If you're sitting on something, take it out from under you. And if it happens to be a bolster, bring it in front. We're going to extend our legs long in front here, moving the flesh of your seat with kindness and non-judgment out of the way. Finding your ischial spines, connecting them into the earth, deeply rooting downward, borrowing the stability and calmness and stillness of the earth beneath. If you have a bolster, place it atop your legs and you'll drape yourself forward, coming into an easeful forward fold. If you have pillows or a blanket, you can stack them over your leg as well. Wiggling your hands as far forward. If you don't have a bolster, slide your hands down your shins and allow your head and neck to fold forward easily. Wiggle your toes lightly and allow yourself to soften in to this forward fold. Head and neck releasing fully. Close your eyes and go inward. Come back to the breath. Five deep breaths here. Long, slow, and even. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Savoring the breath, savoring the stillness and the quiet. Wiggle your toes and fingers lightly. Notice the shifts in the back of the legs with kindness. We'll slide back up the bolster or your legs or the blanket, and you'll open your legs into a wide angle pose. Once again, find your ischial spines, rooting them downward, move the flesh of your seat if you need, and we'll drape forward once again over the bolster. If you have blocks, you can stack them up on top or stack one block and put your head on the block, lowering your hands to the floor. If you have pillows, you can use that. You can also use couch cushions. And if you don't have anything, you'll just bring your hands to the floor lightly. Relax your head and neck, no gripping. Fingers are light, toes are light. Add a little lightness and playfulness into this release in whatever position you choose. And we'll be here for 5 long, deep breaths. Notice if you can lengthen your exhale so it's a little bit longer than the inhale. A trick to invite more parasympathetic nervous system energy. And even smooth breaths, no forced breath, breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. If your mind begins to wander, come back to the breath. Come back to the sensations of your body, the backs of your legs, your hands. Wiggle the toes and relax back in. Those of us with busy minds sometimes struggle to find quiet. Accepting and allowing that and softening back in, beginning again. Slowly slide up the bolster. We'll take whatever you've got, bolster blocks, out of the way and bring your feet together into a butterfly pose. Soles of the feet together, knees apart. Hug those heels in close to you and flap your butterfly wings gently for a moment. Inhale and exhale, slowly soften your knees gently towards the floor and come to stillness. Whatever that looks like for you. Breathe right into those inner thighs. Sending the breath right down in through your belly, all the way into the inner thighs. And exhale it all the way out through your belly, through your chest, through your throat, nose, mouth. Breathing in, pouring that oxygen all the way down through your center, right into your groin, into those inner thighs. And exhale, breathing out the way it came. 2 more breaths here. You can close your eyes if you wish. Relaxing into this pose, even though you're not relaxed. Allowing the breath to move easily, to nourish and cleanse each cell. You can release your hands from your ankles and slowly walk your hands forward as if you're coming into that chrysalis. Folding forward, release your head and neck. You'll notice a release in the neck and the upper back. Enjoying that for a moment. Three breaths here. Wiggle your fingers a little bit farther forward if you can. And pause and breathe. Pause and savor. As your mind begins to wander, come back to your fingers. Press your thumbs to the floor. Second finger, third finger, fourth finger, pinky finger. Connecting with your finger pads on the hardwood floor or the carpet, wherever they're on. Noticing that sensation. And slowly slide upright. Grab your knees, draw them together with kindness, moving slowly. You'll sweep your feet around behind you and we'll come to hands and knees for a moment. We're going to come to thread the needle. You'll have your hands directly under your shoulders, your knees directly under your hips, and spread your fingers wide, equal pie shapes between each finger. Press all 5 knuckles on each hand to the floor, collapse the palms, engage your belly. You'll have a nice corset around the middle, caring gently for your lower back. Inhale, reach that right arm up towards the sky. Exhale, thread it between the left hand and left knee and lower your right ear to the floor. Spread your left fingers long, long, long in front and sink in a way that feels good. Don't overdo it. And continue to breathe long, smooth, and even. 5 deep breaths here. Get your left fingers comfortable, your armpit comfortable, your right shoulder comfortable. Easily resting that right ear on the floor. Just notice every little pocket and nook and cranny that opens up here. And if you notice the breath catch, begin again. Long, smooth, even inhale. Savor the breath, each and every one.
Savor the stretch. Savor the time, the stillness. Allowing it to bake in. Yin is like baking or slow cooking rather than microwaving. Softly, smoothly, easily, shifting and changing. Wiggle those fingers a little farther forward on the left hand and the back of the right hand adjust a little bit for 2 more breaths here. And you'll slowly walk that left hand back by your face, press into the left hand, untangle, reach the right arm up with kindness towards the sky, undoing the twist, and lower that right hand down. Even yourself out, back is flat, belly is flat, tops of the feet on the floor. Inhale the left arm towards the sky, gazing upward. Exhale, thread it through the right side, bend your right elbow and left ear comes to the earth. The palm of the left hand faces the sky and the right fingers reach as far forward as possible. Allowing yourself to breathe and soften in. Soften and savor all the sensations in the little nooks and crannies. Wiggle both sets of fingers and sink in a wee bit more for the last 2 breaths. Softening anything that's gripping. Coming back to the breath and beginning again. You'll slowly walk your right hand back by your face, untangle that left arm, reach it towards the sky, coming back to hands and knees. We'll walk our forearms forward, coming into Sphinx pose. Your belly will lower down to the floor, fronts of the hips on the floor, tops of the feet on the floor. Your elbows are directly under your shoulders, forearms on the floor. Spread your fingers wide, taking good care of your lower back. Your heart shines forward. We'll take 5 deep breaths here. Sending the breath and the nourishment into the front of the belly and the lower back. Pouring the breath down the throat into the front of the belly, into your pelvis. Nourishing and cleansing all of those cells, sending them attention, love, and kindness. And savoring all these sensations, breathing in long and smooth. Anything gripping, soften it with the breath. No big shifts, just softening, melting. Each breath a little deeper than the first. And each exhale a little longer than the one before. Last breath here. Lower your hands down to the floor. You'll make a pillow for your forehead and coming into a prone shavasana for a moment. Forehead on your hands, hand to hand, hand on the floor. And pause here. Notice the front of your body on the floor, on the earth. And take a minute to enjoy these different sensations. We spend very little time prone. Moving your hands as the pillow, bringing them down by your side, and turn your right ear to the floor, chin to the left. And take a moment to sink in right here. Allowing yourself to relax fully. And notice these sensations. Palms are open towards the sky. Open and receptive. allowing and noticing. Turn your gaze to the other side, left ear on the earth, and enjoy. Two more breaths. Bring your gaze back to center, your forehead on the floor. Notice that third eye on the floor. Bring your hands to shoulder height. You'll curl your toes and press back to child's pose. Knees apart, toes together. We're going to be in child's pose for a little bit. If you have a bolster, go ahead and grab it and slide it under you to drape over. Or you can be flat on the earth. Either one is fine. Whatever's more comfortable for you. Someone said to me last week at the Sagrada retreat, this is called hug your bolster yoga. So if you happen to have a bolster, give it a hug, drape yourself over and enjoy. Your forehead can be pressing into the bolster, or you can be on one ear or the other. I'll cue you to switch when we're partway through. Notice if you need to move your knees farther apart, sink your hips down lower. And take good care of your hips and your knees. If you need a blanket between your thighs and your calves, do that. And if child's pose doesn't work for you, you can stay prone as well. If your gaze is turned to one side, look the other way to even out your neck. Be kind, do no harm. And notice your nervous system already. How does it feel? We'll be here for 2 more breaths, long and smooth. Savor them. Slowly bringing your forehead back to center, third eye connecting to the earth or the bolster underneath for a moment. Connecting once again to your wisdom, noticing your heart space and the room it has to fill fully, to pause and appreciate and celebrate. Taking a moment to thank yourself for the journey of this mothering, all the things that have gone well and right and worked out better than you thought. We're always looking for the mishaps. But tonight, soaking in and savoring the beauty, the successes, the delights, the things that touched your heart. And we'll slowly bring our hands to your sides and coming up out of child's pose. If you happen to have the bolster, move it out of the way. Coming back to hands and knees. Coming onto your fists, you'll bring your right foot forward and come into a low lunge. If you happen to have blocks, use those. I know some of you have blocks who join regularly. If you don't have blocks, they're not needed. A blanket under your back knee will feel lovely. If you have the blocks, staying upright so you can sink in with kindness, not overstretching. Wiggling those right toes as far forward as you need and bend your elbows and allow yourself to soften in here. Softening, but not overdoing, doing no harm. And allowing yourself to sink in and savor the release in the left hip here. Keeping that calm nervous system that you had in child's pose,
even as you are upright in a hip flexor, release. Coming back to that breath that you've been training. Breathing into it. 5 more breaths here. Soften with each breath. Thinking of it less as a stretch and more as a softening, as a loosening, as a nudging, as a letting go. On each exhale, allow a little more softness. We'll slowly straight the right knee, coming into a half split. You can walk the blocks back if you have them, and if not, just staying upright with kindness. Hinge at the waist and release over that right hamstring a wee bit. Once again, not overdoing it, sending the breath with kindness into the back of the right leg, wiggling your toes lightly. Send that smooth, easeful breath. Point your toe and flex your toes. Point them and flex them with the breath. Inhale as you point, and exhale as you flex. Bend your elbows and soften in a little more over the right leg with kindness, gentle and slow. Savor the sensations in the back of that right leg. We'll lower the right foot, bend the knee, coming forward. We're going to come into lizard pose here. You can stay upright or come lower down. Everybody's anatomy is slightly different. You walk your right foot to the outer edge of the mat, roll onto the right side of the foot and let your right knee fall out towards the right. You may want to slide that back knee back so that your weight, if there's any weight on it, is on the top, on the bottom of the humerus as opposed to on the knee joint. And in lizard pose, we're honoring the pelvic region. We're releasing that pelvic area, which for many of us ties right into our mothering. So sending love and kindness for the journey of mothering and all of the traumas and trials and tribulations, sending that tenderness, and then shift into, once again, all the things that turned out beautifully. The magic of human life, the magic that those tiny little babies become bigger humans, and someday they may even have humans of their own. For those of you who don't know, I'm a brand new grandmother. So appreciating this groin area for all the amazing miracles it's been involved in. 2 more breaths here, softening in. If there's anything gripping, send the breath and easefully release and soften a little more. Roll back onto the sole of the right foot. You'll bring your block to the outside. And we'll come back directly to hands and knees here. And you can just switch sides. You can keep your blocks. Bring the left foot forward. Come into an easy low lunge, Anjaneyasana. Readjust the blocks and allow yourself to soften in. This is releasing the right hip with kindness and compassion. We hold a lot of tension and sympathomimetic stress in the hip. Send the breath and soften. Invite that parasympathetic calm that we grew and nourished and created already right into that right hip as you bend the left knee a little more. Continue to breathe and soften. Notice if you need to shimmy the back knee back a little bit. And if it feels intense, send kindness, compassion, softness, and ease into that right hip. Slowly straight that left knee, coming back into a half split. So you'll walk your hands back with blocks or not. If you don't have blocks, you can keep your hands on your hips as well. Hinge forward over the left leg. And point the toe and flex the toe gently, sending love and kindness to the back of the left leg. No rush, slow and savor. Come to stillness. Fold forward a little bit more over that left leg and breathe. Long, smooth, cleansing, nourishing inhales and exhales. Breathing in the things you want: kindness, compassion, slowness, relaxation, calm. And on the exhale, letting go of whatever is not needed anymore. That just even tightness may be all you recognize. Use the breath to cleanse that physiology. 2 more breaths here in this half splits, softening in. And we'll slowly, when you're ready, slide forward onto the left foot, bend the left knee, walk the left foot to the outer edge of the mat, roll onto the outer edge of that left foot, and fold forward into your version of lizard. If it's up or down, we're all different. For those of you that are watching me, I stay up because that's what my anatomy does, but some of you can fold way far forward. Either way, sending kindness and compassion into the pelvic area. And kindness and compassion to that right knee. If it's not set up right, adjust it. Long, smooth inhales and exhales. Once again, connecting to this journey of mothering with all its ups and downs, tenderness for the downs. And today, allowing yourself to focus on the beauty, on the fullness and the richness and the delight and the special moments that touched your heart, surprised you, and inspired you. Our brains are attuned to the things that didn't go well, but allowing your heart to grow by focusing on what did go well. The miracles, the amazingness, the moments of laughter and joy along the way. Slowly lowering back onto the sole of the left foot, wiggling it towards the middle. And with care, coming back to hands and knees, you'll move the blocks out of the way and we'll fold back down into a quick child's pose. Your knees can be together this time. Wiggle your fingers in front and lower your forehead to the floor. Release the back. Release the wrists if you need to undo anything in the wrists. Taking a moment just to notice how you feel. And then we'll come up to a seat. Slide your feet in front of you and spread them long in front. And we'll roll ourselves down to lie on the floor slowly with care, taking good care of your belly. And when you arrive, allow yourself to relax. Some of you will want to have knees bent. Some of you will want to have knees straight. Whatever feels best to your back today. Connect with the parts of you that are connected to the earth here with lightness. Notice perhaps the soles of your feet, the sacrum, the palms of your hand, perhaps your scapula, backs of your arms, your occiput. Noticing that connection to the earth beneath. Notice the earth holding you and the safety and calm of this moment. Come back to the breath and allow yourself to savor. We're going to come into a figure 4. Bring your right ankle over the left knee. Thread your hands behind your left thigh and draw it towards you. For some of you, this will be enough. Flex your ankles, toes will reach towards the sky. Right elbow presses into the right knee. And notice your right hip. Have a little gentle rock here, a little playfulness, massaging the sacrum and the lower back. And come to stillness. Hug the left thigh in a little tighter. Some of you may wish to grab your shin as you reach your right elbow into the right thigh. Sending kindness to that right hip, thanking it for all its work. Long, deep, cleansing breaths. Send a breath to the outer right thigh. And release what would like to go. Notice if the breath is catching. And smooth it out. Begin again. Invite the calm. Invite that parasympathetic. Invite ease. Invite a sense of safety, relaxation. Bring your hands behind the left thigh. Reach your left heel towards the sky. Press your left thigh, left hamstring into the hands and press your heel towards the sky and enjoy the sensations for a moment. Savor them. You press the heel towards the sky and the hamstring into your hands. Long, smooth, easy breaths. Point your toe towards the sky for 2 breaths. Send the delicious breath into the shin and the toes. Flexing your ankle, toes towards your nose. Bend your knee and lower your foot to the floor. Release your hands. Bring them above your head into an easy cactus shape or a T, whatever is kind to your shoulder. Above all, do no harm to yourself here. Drop your left knee to the left, right sole of the foot to the left, coming into a figure 4 twist here. Sending some love to that right hip, front of the right hip, waist area. If it feels good, gaze to the right. And we'll be here for 5 long, easy, nourishing breaths. Savor this last, long, juicy, delicious breath. Pour it into every nook and cranny like honey. And slowly bring your gaze back to center and your knees back to center. Untangle your knees. Lower the right foot to the floor. Even your hips out. Sacrum is flat to the floor. Bring your left ankle to the right knee. Thread your arms between your legs, drawing the right thigh, hamstring towards you. Ankles are flexed to take good care of your knees. Do no harm to yourself. We're all so attuned to do no harm to others. always taking care that every decision we make does no harm. Perhaps asking yourself what love would do. It would take good care of you too. Press your left elbow into your left knee. Hug your right leg towards you a wee bit. And savor and enjoy all the sensations here. Breathing long, even, and slow. Your hands are on your shin, bring them back to the right thigh and extend your right heel towards the sky. Press your right hamstring into your hands. Toes come towards your nose, heel presses towards the sky. Savor these sensations. Breathe. Long, even, and slow. Point your toe towards the sky and breathe. Flex the toe towards your nose. Bend that knee and lower the foot down. Release your hands, coming into cactus or T, whatever works for your shoulder. Do no harm. Drop that left sole of the foot to the right outer leg and knee come towards the floor, a figure 4 twist. Gaze to the left if it's okay for your neck. Five long, smooth, nourishing breaths here. Everything's slowing down, perhaps a little uncomfortably slow. Let it in. The discomfort comes from retraining your nervous system, which is used to being busy. Softening, allowing the slowness, the nourishment, the healing, the love, the kindness. Nothing to do but be here and enjoy. Notice if you'd like to deepen your breath, your last few breaths here. Any nooks and crannies that need a little extra breath, extra oxygen, extra nourishment, sending it there. Little pockets in the hips or the back or the lungs that haven't fully opened, sending the breath there. Gently bring your gaze back to center and your knees back to center. Uncross your feet and find your sacrum in the center. Connect it to the earth. Bring your hands down beside you, palms to the floor. We're going to lift up into an easy bridge to be kind to the backside body. Lift your hips up towards the sky and savor all the sensations here. Lift your heart up towards the sky. Shimmy your shoulders underneath you. If you have a block and you want to put it underneath you for a supported bridge, you can. Taking a moment here to notice the shifts in blood flow. And slowly untuck those shoulders and roll down to the earth. Arrive and pause and notice and savor. Bring your knees into your chest and give them a hug. Rock side to side, massage your sacrum. And we'll slowly lower our feet to the earth. Bring the soles of your feet together once again, knees apart, coming into reclining butterfly or Supta Baddha Konasana. If you happen to have blocks and you want to put them underneath your knees, feel free. It's lovely and kind. If you need a blanket, you can throw it over you. You can have one hand to heart and one hand to belly here. Once again, connecting back to that heart space. With the hand to heart, with intention, sending tenderness right into the heart space. Taking a moment to listen to that heart space, listening to its messages. Is there something you need more of or less of? Is there something in this mothering role that needs tending? Something in your relationship with your children you'd like more of? Not for them, but for you. Or perhaps your heart needs more time and stillness for you. Maybe you need to bring more of you. Allowing yourself a moment to listen, connect, and accept and allow whatever's there. And when you're ready, shift your attention to the hand on the belly. Listening to your belly messages. Our belly is our creative center, energetic centers, and also those centers where our children came from. Listening to the messages there. Is there any appreciation, gratitude, forgiveness, something else needed there? Or perhaps space to grow in your mothering role. Or space to grow as not a mother, moving on from that role, allowing you to be more you, taking care of your own needs and your own passions. Taking a listen. And as things come up, breathe and soften. Allowing yourself to soften in here and be nourished and restored. Supta Baddha Konasana is about restoration and healing. Restoring energy. We'll slowly bring our hands to the outer edges of your thighs and draw your knees together. And we'll come into Shavasana. And I invite you to grab whatever delightful props you have. Bolster under your knees if you have it. If you have the setup and want to do a supported fish instead of Shavasana, do that. Grab a blanket to stay warm. Get yourself nice and cozy and comfy. And soften it. Allowing your body to breathe for itself. Allowing the earth beneath you to hold you. Flipping your palms open to the sky if that's comfortable. In a receptive, open-hearted position. Allowing yourself to connect with the feeling of safety and being held and cared for fully for these moments. Allowing yourself to soften in, letting go of that hypervigilance and need to fix anything. Allowing yourself time to allow, to surrender, to enjoy, and to savor. Gently begin to deepen your breath. Slowly start to wiggle lightly your fingers and your toes, allowing that sensation, consciousness coming back into your body. Taking in a big inhale and stretch your hands long above you and your toes long in front of you. A huge drink of delicious, nourishing, cleansing breath. And exhale, let it out. Slowly roll over to one side and pause. In that cocoon, fetal-like position, using an arm as a pillow, or if you have a blanket or bolster, you can use that as a pillow. And pause for a moment. Pause and notice how you feel. Notice the kindness and the calm and the ease and that deep sense of relaxation. Tucking a little bit of that into your heart space to take forward with you in the week ahead. Remembering that it's possible for your nervous system to feel like this. And remembering that you can come back to it anytime, that it's tucked into that little pocket behind your heart when you need it. You can go back to the breath, breathe right into that spot behind your heart and connect to it. When you're ready, slowly press up into your hands and we'll come back to a comfortable seat where we began. Find your ischial spines and your sit bones, connect them into the earth, tilt your pelvis forward and align your spine, one vertebrae atop the other with ease. Stretch that crown of the head towards the sky. Exhale, soften in. Bring your hands to your thighs, palms open, taking a moment to allow, receive, and enjoy, and invite the calm and the ease and the peace. Many of us have a hard time basking in the beautiful moments. Taking a moment here to let it seep in. Hands wide open. Invite it in with the inhale. And soften and allow it to move into every nook and cranny with the exhale. Bring a hand to heart and the other hand to top. Sealing in this feeling. Pressing into your heart space. Sending yourself good wishes and kindness and appreciation for the journey, all of it. A little tenderness. Taking a moment once again to connect to the moments that touched your heart in this journey of mothering. The moments that surprised you, the moments that inspired you. The beautiful, magical moments. Connecting with those, allowing them to seep into your cells and your nervous system. Taking one more moment to enjoy them fully. Letting your body enjoy them. Letting your cells remember them. So you can bring them with you. And bring your hands together in front of your heart. Press your thumbs right into your sternum, right into that heart space. Fingers reach towards the sky, elbows out wide. Thank you all so much for joining me tonight to practice together in community from all over the country, but in community, sharing this hour together, taking good care of ourselves, attending to what's touched our heart, what's inspired us, what's surprised us, what's beautiful and amazing and loving about this journey of mothering. May you all savor the beautiful moments this week. May you find joy, may you find peace, and may you find ease. Namaste.